listen.
No. I was thinking that the hello listener and welcome to Temportalers. Pause for the fade in the intro music, fade out, and then that's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
So you weren't expecting a big monologue at the beginning at the top. I was expecting you to have
We'll work it out.
Right.
Yeah, we can work it out, but
We're gonna work it out.
yeah, okay.
This is intro take 2.
Okay, and
Yellow baby buggy bumpers.
you guys are making us laugh.
Okay. Hi. Hello.
Deep breathing, Kyle. In and out. In through the nose, out through the mouth.
I don't cover up my nose and mouth.
Goose fraba, as we learned.
Goose fraba. Goose fraba.
Hello, listener, and welcome to Temportalers, the show where we jump around a whole bunch of different games and systems and hopefully do so in a somewhat coherent manner. I am Seth, I am writer and game master, and with me I have...
I am David, and I have hairs growing out the front of my face.
I am Rachel, and I most definitely don't have those hairs.
And I'm Kyle, and I got hair growing on the top of my head. And some on my face.
So we've established that we all are, in fact, mammals. Okay. Good.
Excellent.
Productivity.
My cover's working perfectly.
Bring it in. When last we left our heroes, having set out on their second big excursion from the kind of place between the worlds of Yatamu Lodge, where they'd grown up and, some of them anyway, learned things about the various worlds.
Learn things?
Learn things. You had set out with the sword...
Hitsujinu.
Yes, the sword Hitsujinu that you had acquired, oddly enough, in the realm of Space 1889, and it had helped you to navigate your way to the realm from which it had originated, being Rokugan, the land of Legend of the Five Rings.
We are samurai, yo.
You are something resembling samurai.
Hey, no, we have the Koyosaru badge now.
Yeah, we are legit.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to pick your battles. Anyway, so you had traveled to Rokugan with your combat instructor, Midarkatal. He has since vanished, and you've encountered various people of this world, including Jikadan, who had once been a part of the rather nasty group of rogue samurai, ronin warriors, what have you, who are terrorizing the land of Rokugan. Jikadan is now traveling with you, as you've all, as previously stated, acquired your badges of Koyosaru, and are now heading out to hopefully reacquire another person you had met in this world, a young boy by the name of Isoda-shan.
Isoda-shan, why you gotta get kidnapped?
Well, you had thoughtfully left behind a note that you had a little boy with you.
Yeah.
And,
that wasn't my fault.
We didn't think he was important enough to be kidnapped.
He's MacGuffin.
He's Midarkatal.
he is R2-D2.
So we should have, cleaned his face for carbon scoring?
Help me, Hideyoshi, you're my only hope. I don't know. Anyway.
Sorry, kid, you're screwed.
But you had recently set about your samurai trials. It had not gone very well.
Come on, we nailed
it was
it.
ups and downs.
We technically passed.
On a technicality, because the following day they basically needed your services and you came through.
Yes.
Yes. And during this period where they needed your services, it was an attack by the Okita League, who had set in upon the domain, I suppose, of Doji Tosaki, who, by name at least, appears to hail from the same clan as our own Minthus, who in this world goes by the title Doji Min. And now the three of you and Jikadan, following this attack, as well as Jeremy, set out. And you are heading east by northeast, up towards kind of away from the Crane lands and up towards the lands of the Lion Clan, as between them there is some sort of stronghold that is a base of operations for the Okita League, where the Wakened is in command.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
And as we pick up, you are traversing across vast swaths of recently harvested crops, rice and probably other things, but rice is what's coming to mind. And you've set out on your hero's journey, and are you trying to make the fastest possible travel time? You do have the heading based on where you believe, at least.
Right.
You have picked up the trail of those who seem to have absconded with your
Young lad.
yes.
I'm probably in a rush.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah. Rush.
I don't know if we'll be able to match Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, but we're getting a hustle on.
But as if the very whips of their masters were behind them. Wasted on cross country. But so as you're pushing on, you don't have to do a fellowship. No, I guess 2 towers, trio boys, because you do in fact still have horses. It'll wear them out a bit because there's 2 of you apiece on the horses. So after a bit, you probably want to give them a bit of a rest. But
Yes.
Which we would.
pushing on,
Do the whole, gallop, then get off and walk, and then gallop, and then get off and walk.
right. So who is in command of each equestrian mount?
I think I'm
Yeah.
riding one, and I thought...
I
You're
was
with me.
I was with somebody.
Yeah.
And Hideyoshi. Hideyoshi is piloting, as it were.
Yes.
And
and Kaden are on moat, and he's
right,
driving the
Jakedan is driving the horse.
driving that much.
In a different sense of the word. Alright. So then, I suppose Hideyoshi and Jakedan then must roll to see how well you are able to...
Horse?
Yeah, but just keep in mind how much to push your mounts as opposed to how often you need to pull back and let them catch their breath, as it can be somewhat disheartening to have driven your horse too far and you just hear them going
Yeah.
So I will what have we been doing? What have we been doing for husbandry?
Was it a commerce or a
No.
labor, survival?
No. More
Command?
of a horse or survive.
You can command a horse.
Command or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was only a week ago.
Yeah. How's about go command reason, I suppose, as far as
Can
pushing the horse forward.
Encourage my horse in a positive fashion by stroking its neck and patting it and telling it it's a good boy, so that I can use charm instead?
So you're going the Sahine approach.
Well, is I will allow it if it's in any way connected to distinctions or adversities or what have you.
It is, because I have a passion of travel, but it is water.
All right, I will allow it.
Excellent. 3 of you and 1 of you. That's backwards. That.
3 of you, 1 of you.
Yes. There we go. 3 black dice, 1 white die.
Ring and skill for listener.
Mm-hmm. And oops, that's one of those. those 3 and reroll that one. Okay. That gives me 2 success, 1 opportunity, 2 strife.
Okay.
But I'm pursuing a passion, so I remove 3 strife.
That is true, I suppose.
We are traveling across lands I've never been across before.
Okay, then. Also rolls rather well. Taking a bit of strife, but it is to be expected as this is, as you had set out, it was actually still pretty early in the day. So as you're setting out and getting through the heat of the day, all of you with your arsenal of weapons and heavier clothing and armor, you're sweating a bit, even though just this being harvest at the end of summertime, it's getting a little cooler, but it is not yet the full swing of autumn.
The battle was this morning, right?
Yes.
Okay. I still have lots of fatigue and strife. Anyway, carry on.
But
Yeah.
for the interest of time, we'll say as you push on throughout the day, you feel as though you have at least not lost any ground on your quarry. And Memphis, as you commune with the...
Oh, do you want me to roll for that?
I would actually.
I believe it's theology. What was it? Somebody can look that up. On page 2. I forget what type of thing it is, if I know it's theology at the very least.
Page 212. This is Commune with Spirits. Target number 1 theology check using air, earth, fire, water, or void,
Oh, yeah. That's right.
depending upon the type of spirit you wish to appeal to.
We'll go with... Well, since they've been traveling, we'll go with Earth.
Yeah, there isn't really any large bodies of water around. Art, I should say.
Just to clarify, white is the reading, or white is the
Skill.
Skill.
patch.
For players and listener, the black dice are the ring dice, the white being the skill dice. Skill ranks are reflected in this, and how many ranks you have in a skill determine how many skill dice you roll.
Oh boy. Alright, so 2 success, 1 strike, which I believe gives me what I needed because it was target number 2, right?
Target 1.
1. Oh, that's
So you
Bam!
resoundingly succeed as you reach out to commune with the kami of the world, and it's the general sense is that yes, somebody has passed by not too far ahead of you.
Ooh.
But they showed no signs of slowing. So, as you
Oh no.
are you stopping for the evening, or are you just pushing on through?
Well, I look around and it's like, if they aren't stopping, if we stop, we...
Well, they will have to stop eventually.
Mm-hmm.
How are the horses doing so far?
You managed to keep a relatively manageable pace for them, and so like you don't feel as if you've necessarily lost any ground at this point, but definitely for both horse and rider, for all of you, if you start pushing through at this point, you'll be suffering some fatigue.
I don't have a lot of fatigue to suffer.
Hideyoshi's tired.
So, well, I
I'm
mean,
bleeding.
we could hope that they push themselves too far, and we can catch up with them later.
I would be inclined to stop now, wake up early, and hustle after them.
Okay.
And also, if I remember correctly, it's just the one dude with Isoto-chan. Because
It
there's
It
2.
might have been more.
You know of at least one.
Right.
There were at least 2, and you found one body.
Right. That's right.
The kid's got moxie.
I'll
And the
give him a knife. Now this is a knife. But anyway, I'm fine with that because I'm currently sitting at my threshold for endurance and 1 below for composure.
Jikaden nods his agreement with all of this. It would be no good as a boy if we arrive completely exhausted and unable to fight.
I agree.
Well then, let's set up camp.
Right.
First watch.
Do we have to roll anything for that camp? Do we just do it?
In the interest of time, we'll say that, I could have you go through the whole thing. It's like, well, there's the watch and the setting up the campfire and everything, but if you are managing to be smart about things and pull away from the main road and etc., then manage to set up camp without too much difficulty and
once
head down for the evening.
Once we set up camp, I gather up Memphis and Hideyoshi. So I've been meaning to ask you guys. As you know, I haven't been one for school.
No.
We were aware of that.
Okay. Just pointing that out because this might be a stupid question, but I've been thinking, is there any other way we can find, is it
Mudarkital?
Mudarkital, yes.
Is there any other known way? Because obviously it doesn't seem that it's unusual that you get separated.
I assume you're saying this to us when
Yeah.
Jikaden
I
is...
would be looking for a moment. I wouldn't be like speaking loudly. It would be more of a private conversation.
Alright.
He goes off to use the tree or something.
Use.
You use that tree.
Yeah.
There's a whole bit on MASH where they're like, okay, so you go past that 10, and then there are 3 trees. Number 1 is for number 2. Number 3 is for number 1, or something like that.
Anyway.
But anyways,
Do we know of any way that we can sense the presence of someone who's not from those worlds?
Everybody got their Genesis sheets?
You bet I do.
I have my Genesis sheet, but I
can
don't
I
have...
roll this at all? Because as we've said, I don't really do the school thing.
Well, we're about to find out what schooling is in our Genesis seat.
I also, however, don't have my Genesis dice.
I do.
I have mine on my...
So, what are we rolling?
I suppose at some point we should establish that, yes, there should be a knowledge...
School.
well, just for this sort of thing, a knowledge lodge or something like that. Mm-hmm. And, so basic understanding of how the realm hopping works,
okay,
etc.
And then if we do establish that, because they actually stayed in school and I didn't, is there ranks for that you have gained over time or something like that? Because as it stands, if we don't...
I mean, none of you are really experts, but
still, I feel like there should be some ranks for the people who have actually stuck through the schooling for some of it.
You make a decent argument for...
Instead of ranks, we get it as career skill and you don't.
That makes sense. I can go with that.
So...
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
So that means it costs more for me to...
Yes.
Okay. And then...
5 for them, 10 for you, players and listeners.
But I still feel like they should have advantage over me when rolling this skill.
I can give them a boost on the roll.
Okay. I just don't want it to be the exact same roll,
Sure.
because I didn't put in the work.
Hey, you being honest.
Yeah, I deserve a disadvantage. Look at that game master, we're role playing.
This would be fairly basic knowledge. So have some dice.
Thank you.
Because we're pulling out Genesis dice. Listen.
So just average.
Yep.
And then you guys get boosts because you actually went to class.
Yep. The intellect is only 2. So how about
1 success, 1 threat.
Okay.
For advantage.
All right.
Oh, hot school quite well. 2 success, 1 advantage.
Ooh.
Okay. You do know, Zaheen, that there are possible methods that vary on the different worlds about picking up something foreign, but you're not entirely sure what.
Okay, so that's what I get with my only
Yeah.
advantage. Okay. I would
But-
be like, well, you know, the times I was actually there, you know, they were talking about this one thing, and I can't quite remember exactly what it was, but it's detecting weirdness and shenanigans, you
Which
know.
jogs your memory, Hideyoshi. Which did you succeed?
I got 2 success, 1 advantage.
Okay, so for the Hideyoshi and Memphis, recalling that, oh yeah, there are methods that do vary from world to world. So it's, you know, for like Legend of the Five Rings, it's something like, oh, you need to be able to.
So, the commune with spirits ritual that
Yes.
Min has allows you to appeal to the departed, such as ancestor spirits or other non-elemental supernatural presences if you use the void skill, the void ring.
Right. So something like that might be put to use here for like for Space 1889. You know, you would need to find the proper scanning equipment, like
Dowsing rod.
your dear professor friend had.
Oh, I loved her so much.
Yeah,
She was quite nice.
She was a fun time, and you know, it varies from place to place. Being able to basically pick up on foreign like things that are not of this world.
Gotcha.
So the drawback there is you can't actually, well, presumably, because this is you've all received at least some modicum of training in this, as you manifested in this world. You are not really yourselves. You are in a different form. You take on the form of this place. It would have to be, you know, you would pick up on things or people that retained their essence from somewhere else. So that's like that was basically how the professor in Space 1889, with her equipment, was able to pick up on, oh, there's this
Weird anomaly.
weird anomaly. She wasn't entirely sure what it was, but she was picking up, presumably, you guys think, the fact that, oh, there's this drow dark elf lady with weird technology and magic.
So as you guys are talking about, I was like, whoa, that's what that was? There's ways to... Whoa.
So, Mudarkatal
Yes.
is going to be
Whoa.
difficult to pick up, probably
Right.
because he's unlikely to be the four-armed alien.
That might make him more noticeable, so you could probably want to avoid taking that form in this world.
So for me, because I look exactly like I do back home, because one of my parents is from here, would that make it easier to find me or harder?
Possibly harder because you would not being as
Blend in, yeah.
you would not being as a foreign body.
Okay.
It would be like, oh, he checks
Okay.
out.
But if, say, one of the two of them were to come here in their normal form, they would stand out.
Right.
Okay.
So, which is probably why it was easier to find a drow elf lady, because she was themselves.
Yes. Which apparently, yeah, you guys were not entirely sure that was even possible until that happened. It was like, oh, she can do that.
I can be myself.
And take in, things from other worlds, and they retain their true forms as well.
Alright.
So, if you still had your visor or whatever that you'd left behind with your sister, Saheen, that would be...
Which she was so obvious.
No, she totally played it cool.
Yeah.
But no, yes, there are methods of picking up foreign things to a world if you are either attuned to it in some way or have some means of reading it with the proper equipment, be it magic or scientific.
Would Min's ritual be enough to detect that, or would it be
Possibly.
increased difficulty, something like that?
I would give that...
Give it a try if you want.
I mean, certainly worth a try.
One Friday before
Yes,
that.
and
Amina.
you are. Well, I guess you don't really have a.
Although,
Remember,
thinking about that, I am going to pull up Jeremy and just say, Jeremy, are you Mr. Capal?
Oh.
Gives you a very severe look, you think, and
Waves all four of his arms at us.
kind of flops over onto his belly. You think he's dead.
Jeremy?
And kind of twitches.
Well, I'm glad you can play dead.
Okay.
Sorry for the event yesterday, by the way. And then I give him little, whatever you do with pet crickets. I don't know if you pet them or whatever.
You're pretty sure he has no idea what you're saying to him.
But we have a special bond, though, that I go for.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, he helped me find our inn. He
Yeah.
helped me figure out where to drop off my horse.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a lucky cricket.
But I would give you a commune with Kami. I would have you probably target number 3, because you have a vague sense of direction, but you have no idea what you're looking for.
Gotcha. And it's void that I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any way that I can help with that?
Are you able to help give him a better idea of what he might be looking for?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think I know any more than he does. So I don't think I have any special insights on feel for the four-armed alien in your head.
Use the force, Memphis. Anyway, okay. I'll go ahead and just do mine then.
Yeah. So this is casting a pretty wide net, so it's a little more difficult to suss out.
Well, I can only keep one dice, apparently. So we'll keep you.
So,
If you spared.
You can keep... Oh, right, because your void is 1.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, I got 1 strike, 2 success, so I don't quite make it.
No, but yeah, you reach out and there's definitely something in this world that doesn't belong here, but you know that already.
I have a question.
Yes.
Even if you don't hit the target number by doing this, like, can you gain more information about what you're looking for to have more knowledge for your next check? Day to day or something like that?
Kind of GM's discretion, but didn't really. There's
That's
not really a
fine.
whole lot to pick up on if you it's like the riddle game. If you're not guessing the riddle correctly, then that doesn't get you closer to answering correctly.
You did not get any opportunity, right?
But now, good news, guys. I'm at my threshold for both endurance and composure.
So Memphis kind of sits down and meditates for a moment, and he just kind of gets to the point where you see like vessels bulging on the side of his forehead, and he looks even a little more disconcerted than usual. So he just kind of, whoa, stop.
I'll take first watch, you take a nap.
I like that idea. Which part am I taking then?
We'll give you last watch.
Okay, sounds good. Make sure to wake me up. I just immediately flop on my back and just conk out.
As Jacaden walks up, are we discussing battle plans?
We were just discussing watch. I'm on first watch, he's on last watch. Do you want second or third?
Third, I suppose.
I guess I'm second then.
You thought that we were leaving early in the morning?
As early as possible, I would assume. We do not want to leave Isodashan in their hands for any longer than we have to.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Get some rest.
Jacaden actually lies down and just, within a couple of minutes, you just kind of get the soft. He's asleep. He got the samurai mentality of, it's sleep time. I'm out.
And just to clarify, when
I just look at him envious.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, we are.
when we have a good night's sleep or whatever, all of our thresholds go down to half, right?
Correct.
Half.
The scene is effectively over.
Anything happened on my watch?
Why don't you roll a perception check?
Okay.
And as Zaheen, you are roused to take second watch. You keep an eye out through your time. Nothing catches your attention.
Okay.
Jacaden taps you out and takes a third watch. And there's the somewhat pointed clanging of cookware as he's got something's doing in the morning, just kind of throwing trail rations together to shovel in before you get on the road. And basically at first light, you're up and eating something rather unappetizing. You're not sure if it's even vegetable or meat or what, but
Okay.
it's in there. It will sustain you, and you're able to mount up once more and carry on.
Cool.
Shall we make the same horsing check again?
Yes, you should.
Okay. All of that is blank. Ew, gross. That is not a particularly likable roll. Well, that gives me 3 strife, 2 success, 1 opportunity.
Okay. Managing to set a good pace once more. Jakedan is going to stay alongside. About midday, the horse that Jakedan and
Mo
the gimpy horse.
Mo, the horse.
yes, Mo, I suppose, is beginning to froth at the mouth a bit. He's being pushed and beginning to wear down a bit. And as you push on through the rest of the day, by the time evening falls, Jakedan has tried to pull back a bit. Your pace doesn't suffer too much, but you have to slow down at least somewhat. And evening sees that.
Can I use the opportunity from my check to improve his circumstance any?
How would you do so?
Potentially by taking some of their baggage?
Distributing the weight differently? I'll allow that. Still have to back a bit, but as you've diverted more so directly northwards towards the forest betwixt the Lion and Crane lands, you actually come up over this rise of sorts, and Jakedan kind of gestures out into the sweeping grasslands beyond. Well, we are entering no man's land. Due north is the forest where the Okitalik await. And you see, just way off on the horizon is this tight-knit swath of dark foliage just on the edge of your vision.
So it's been a couple episodes. Remind me of the season and weather.
It's
Nearing fall.
basically, yeah, you're just the cusp of fall because you just had the harvesting of the crops,
Okay.
etc.
And finding the 7 or so million flowers. One's a
Right.
weed.
Oh, right. Yeah. The weeds.
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you what it was. The Fujibakama,
Uh-huh.
the weed that whispers of harvest's end.
Yeah, that one. Was hiding underneath the rock, apparently.
As you bed down for the night once more, Memphis, do you wish to check in?
Sure. I'm going to first do the one checking in with how far away they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll go do another one for Darkertall. Wait. I think I only have 2 the outfit. Yes, I do. Hiya! Ooh. 2 success
Great.
for the keeping pace with them.
Yes. You have not seemed to gain any ground. You've maybe fallen back a bit.
Okay. Are they still heading towards where we believe the whatever the fort is?
They appear to be.
Okay. Yeah. And then for the other one, the void, see if I can locate Mastio. That's going to be a no, but we'll go ahead and take this one. Opportunity success.
Oh, wait. Yeah, nothing. You're getting that vague sense that something is
Something's
out of
right.
sorts, not as it should be in this world, but
But then again, it's like, well, it's us.
yeah, it's not really telling you anything new.
Ah.
But
Okay. I go give Mo a room down and give them an apple. And I'm a little bit more well rested this evening if you want me to take a walk.
Sure, you can have first watch this time.
Okay.
I'll take second.
Okay. The
Oh no. The GM
Taking
breaks
out the
out dice. That's
Taking out the
scary.
percentile dice.
maybe you don't know.
What's my perception check?
Who would have third watch?
I had first watch, you had second watch. Who you would?
Jakedan would be fine taking it again.
Sure.
You can third.
So, there comes a point in the night where you just hear this steady kind of and draws closer, and you wake up and are looking around, not entirely sure if you need to go for your weapons, but Jakedan is actually crouched over each of you and is just finger raised to his lips. And the ground is beginning to shudder.
Grab my sword.
Begins to recede.
What
And,
was
and,
that?
so you look out.
Whispering.
You're kind of in pulled away into some thicket in your campsite. Jakedan actually just kind of pulls aside some briars, and you look out, and there's just this lumbering shape receding in the moonlit
Does
night.
it resemble any critter I've ever seen before?
Or read about.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna ask you to go off of your Genesis sheet once more.
Alright.
All of us are just stupid.
Anybody who is wishing to.
Sure.
Alright.
I like cross.
Is this gonna be another lodge check?
RPGs.
No. I'm going to call this just a straight up intellect.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have any ranks in any knowledge skills anyway, so.
To be hard.
Hard. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, that gives me a total of 2 success, 4 threat.
Okay.
I'm kind of in the same boat. 2 success, 3 threat.
Interesting.
Whatever it is, we're terrified of it.
It's not a font. No, it's a tire.
What you got, Sahin?
I didn't
Oh, you didn't?
Nope.
decide to roll.
Ah.
Sorry. I thought I shared that.
What is it?
So wait, sorry, are you rolling for it or no?
No.
Okay. Sorry, we just keep on your phone. I'm not sure what. Okay.
When I say no, I mean no.
No means no, Seth.
I understand. I am chasing. But as you guys look out and see this strange lumbering shape, it almost looks kind of amorphous, and it is just appears to be just like each pounding shudder of the earth is actually when it touches down again. It seems to be making these leaps across the landscape, but not incredibly like it's not bounding. It's more
just
like just to churn up the ground beneath it is just moving at quite a pace across the landscape. It's just
Wow.
and
Amorphous, that's all we know about it?
there are various worlds you can think of where there might be some sort of creature that could resemble this. It is definitely not anything like a dragon or any sort of space creature. It's not a flying creature. It just appears to be this kind of hunched, lumbering, but then deceptively fast giant blob.
So, like a magical beast or a construct or a...
Not entirely sure, but you do recall there's something pricking at the back of your memory when Mudarkatal would actually tell stories of his world.
So it's not from around these paws.
Yes.
Ah.
And you don't recall the name of it, but he would talk about these giant creatures that the peacekeeping forces of his reality fought alongside. You're not entirely sure.
Okay.
Alright.
That seems scary.
Maybe it's friendly!
No.
It's not friendly.
I'll say that it's Kyle, but
No, Kyle, it's not friendly.
No. But we're heading towards the Okili because that's where.
Oh,
This is the end of day 2.
Okay.
So it seems like the Okita League has some non-local contacts.
Jikaden actually looks out to it and looks back to you. You know what that is?
Nope.
I haven't seen anything like that before.
It's
I heard-
definitely not from around here.
Heard whisperings that there was something under the sway of the Wakened.
That was
Great creature.
actually my thought, that it's the Wakened that's been causing all of this.
Yeah, that's sounding fairly likely, especially given that the Wiggins' involvement with some other stuff.
What other stuff again?
My sword.
Wait, what?
The Waken
Yeah, who was
participated in the forging of Hitsujinu.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's scary.
It is disconcerting.
Another ring was forged in secret.
Right. I can feel it in the air.
The world's changed. Anyway. Lord of the Rings is awesome, listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you see it just kind of...
Is it
Dart
heading
off.
away from us?
It had kind of drawn, like its path had just drawn it closer, but it didn't veer off toward you or anything. It just continued, it seems.
Is it going around said foresty area that the
It is heading toward it.
Okay. So out of curiosity, was it like, did it go past us towards the forest, or was
Yes.
it kind of going around, orbiting the forest and then going back to the forest?
Not really orbiting as far as you can see.
But it's heading towards the forest.
Yes.
Basically. Alright. Well, I guess we should get going once it's far enough away.
Well, it's still third watch, so I'm gonna go back to bed.
Yeah, this is still a couple hours till dawn, but if you're all awake and wanted to get moving,
Anybody want to just get moving?
I don't
Not
see
that we're
why
awake.
not.
Fine.
All right, let's set off and
Right.
hope we don't run into that thing.
everybody is mounted up and heading out. So you horse. Horse can be a verb now.
Any noun can be verb.
Yeah, better roll.
Spin.
Oh yeah, for success.
Okay. Which is good, because as of the weight's still distributed more heavily onto you and your horse, he needed to be pretty good at reading your horse's ability and mobility, which apparently you are. As you push on, as the sun comes up, you look across the sweeping green as the
Horse.
fall is beginning to take hold. There's darker clouds on the horizon, but as you look across the vast swaths of grasslands that are beginning to grow a little greener with autumn, you do not see any more sign of whatever it was.
Not
Pushing
even
on.
like footprints or anything.
Are you stopping to see if you can
stop them.
Okay.
But if we happen to see them, I assume they'd be fairly obvious given its size.
Possibly.
I keep an eye out for them, but I don't change pace or course to find
That
them.
can just make the target number higher if you still wanted to attempt it. So you're
Yes. It's like a survival.
Survival innovate, I suppose.
Okay.
Because you're not entirely sure. You are trailblazing and trail following because you don't know what you're looking for.
Oh, that's 3 blank dice. But I still got... I'm going to choose not to take the strife and just take 1 success.
Okay. Nah, you don't necessarily see because the grass is actually pretty high. You're not really seeing necessarily any sign of anything clearly marking its path. But as you push on through the day, you're making rather good time, and on towards evening as the horses need to be brought to more of a walk, you're kind of sensing at this point you probably even need to dismount and just hoof it for a bit.
I hear that one way to ride horses for long distances at speed is you do like a mile or an hour of like pushing them hard, then you dismount and walk next to them for an hour, and then alternate, and it gets you pretty far without wearing the horse out too much. So we're doing some sort of cycle like that.
Yeah. Apparently, like that sort of thing is what the Comanches.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing they did.
Cool.
The original horse lords.
The hardcore guys will run next to their horse.
You can try that if you
I
want.
do not want to try that.
Anyway, pushing on throughout the day, on towards evening. The forest is drawing closer, but you're catching a lot of furtive glances around from Jikaden as he seems to be a bit on edge at the fact that you're very much deep into no man's land territory between the lion and crane lands.
And we haven't seen anybody else at all besides this weird creature.
No.
Okay.
More towards evening, you sort of look up kind of to north by northeast, and there appear to be circling clouds of some kind of birds.
Centering over where?
Something that you can't see in the distance.
In our path, off our path.
Kind of, because you're more at this point kind of swerved to go due north, and it's somewhat off of your path, but if you wanted to make a point of diverting around it or going toward it, it would take a bit of a course change.
Think this is worth at least swinging by to see what it is?
Well, Jukeda, since you are a little bit more familiar with this area, since you were part of the Okita League for a little bit, do you happen to know if there's anything in that direction? I point towards where the birds are at.
As far as I know, and if there are what appear to be carrion feeders, it means death.
But who died? That could actually come out to be pretty important.
Perhaps, but we should be on our guard.
And what time is it about now?
It's getting, like, not quite to the point where you need to bed down tonight, but the sun is beginning to
so
dip,
we've got another full day, almost.
at least.
Okay.
Is it close enough that we can send our stealthy person out to check and back?
You're still
Maybe
the person?
in-
Who's that?
It's you.
Who's that? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Maybe after another hour or so of pushing your horses to get closer. Like, this is
Okay,
Please.
still out there?
yeah.
Out of curiosity, this is where, are we stopped right now? Are we, I'm guessing
If you're actually having an actual intelligible conversation, presumably you pulled up and...
Okay.
We're
Then I'm
in the
gonna go
walking
ahead-
stage right now.
Then I'm going to go ahead and do a communion with the kami and see if maybe I can figure out where exactly the big beastie went, and if it went that way. I want to go commune with, let's go with the earth, since,
Okay. So I guess we are stopping then.
just for really quick.
Okay.
As Memphis, very close to the ground already, stoops down and meditates for a moment.
Two success, one opportunity.
Okay. As you're trying to get the sense from the kami
I feel
and
it in the air.
yes, the A in the immediate surroundings, you're definitely getting the sense that there's the not really recoiling, but the begrudging acceptance of the earth, and that this is the circle of life, and it helps to.
It's a
Yeah.
circle of life.
We can't use that, but thank you.
Sorry.
But there's definitely been death on a sizable scale. It's the sense you're getting is that it doesn't appear to be anything.
Unnatural.
No, anything necessarily like the victims, those who have fallen didn't appear to be sentient. The impression you're getting is that likely the creature you saw the night before happened upon a herd of some sort of creature and had a midday snack,
I relay that to the
or
group.
morning snack, depending on when it got there.
If that is the case, then we probably do not need to go investigate, and we should stop here.
Okay. Is this wherever we're at? Are we off the road, or I guess we're in no man's land? So
Yeah, there's not really a
Right.
lot of.
foot traffic.
We'll
So-
still find a somewhat tucked away
Yeah.
place to.
Quick. As you head down for the evening, Jakedan is looking off into the horizon. I think it would perhaps possibly even hobble the horses, but if we wish to reach the forest by tomorrow evening, I think we can do it.
Sounds good. Hearing that, I'm gonna go make sure Mo gets some extra love tonight and is all ready to go for the brand new busy day ahead.
Okay. The watches are taken.
I guess.
One
Oh, okay.
again.
I'll take second, I guess.
Third, I guess.
Alright. Okay. Alright.
Whose watch does it happen inside?
Sahim! As you've taken the final watch of the night.
Wait, I was watch 3
Yeah.
or 4. Right?
You can divide it into 4 if you wish.
I thought we were dividing it in 4.
We have been.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought we were doing it only in threes, but okay, sure.
Well, I thought we were dividing it into 4 because there were 4 of us.
4 it is.
Alright.
So all of you are asleep.
Once again,
And once again, Jakedan.
I mean, it's fine if it's my watch. I just.
Nope. Not anymore, it's not. And kind of each of you get the boot kicking the sole of your foot as you're jarred awake. And Jakedan is...
I come up with weapon in hand.
Jakedan has a hand on his rusty old blade as he is sunk down into the grass and just kind of peering out into the, again, near morning darkness. And this time you are seeing what appears to be a large cluster of movement across the backdrop of the grassy plains, and speckled in it appear to be small pinpricks of light that you recognize as torches. Jakedan looks to you. I've not been able to see how many of them there are, but they do not appear to be a fighting force to take on the Okita League, which means they are likely Okita.
Which way are they headed?
They are heading towards Okita territory.
so I did towards the force.
Yes.
Okay.
But if we wish to try to pick one or two of them off, see if we might gain some more intelligence.
Or be like the Raptors in Jurassic Park.
I have a question about the fatigue and strife.
Yes.
Fatigue, do you as you rest more, do you get more taken off, or it just stays at half and it doesn't go down?
I believe if you are down to half for every rest, it goes.
Well, when you rest, you remove half your water ring of fatigue.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so it doesn't go down to half, it's only composure that goes...
It goes down to half when you take a break, and when you
Okay.
sleep, it is reduced by twice your water ring.
Twice your water?
Twice your water ring.
Ooh, nice.
So getting a good night's sleep clears quite a lot of fatigue.
Okay.
Your strife, however, goes down to half and stays there, unless you
Okay.
do something specifically to reduce it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I just hadn't remembered the rules on the fatigue. Okay.
Yep. So despite the long days of traveling, you've managed to stay relatively buoyant.
And how close to the grass are they?
About waist height. So with Jakedan crouching, he's basically just peering over at the top of it and
Okay.
crouch down further and kind of pop up somewhere else.
So I guess my head is
The
just...
meerkat.
I guess I'm just like, if I were to stand up, I'd be just high enough that I can see over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you say about how many it appears that there are?
He's unable to tell, but if you try to pick out the different points of light against the group of shifting darkness on the landscape, there's about half a dozen torches.
Okay. So, yeah. I was concerned that it might be on the scale of, 100.
New. No, this is not an army. It appears to be a band.
Okay.
Well,
That's-
I mean, if you want, I can go communicate with the spirits to see if maybe they might be able to tell us how many there are exactly. Or are we just going to go out and do it?
I'm inclined to just go for it. There aren't that many?
Like, go full on into this and...
No, we're going to capture one or two.
Try and capture one. Do we want to attack the whole group, or see if we can find a straggler?
I'd say look for a straggler.
Go after the stragglers.
That's a line of dialogue from Empire at War. Anyway, I've heard it so many times. It's in there. It's locked in.
Are there any stragglers
Yeah,
that we can see?
can we assess?
You would have to actually get up closer and to get a better look.
What's stealth in this?
It's basically
Is it still
their
delivery?
vigilance versus your
Would it be your skullduggery versus the target number, their vigilance?
Yeah, we can go by that.
Okay, so what does that mean?
So you do, at this point, I'd call it, since you're more so, I guess, trying to be sneaky, skullduggery exchange.
So
It's water.
Water. Okay.
And I need to then check what the target number is.
And I can only keep as many dice as my ring
yeah.
number.
Correct. Unless you spend a void point.
Which I don't think I have any void points right now. How do you gain void points again?
By dealing with your anxiety. So if you perform a check with your anxiety, you receive 3 strife, but then you also gain a void point. Or if you fail your adversity, then you gain a void point. Or if the GM disgraces this and feels like, hey, you've done a great thing.
You can impress and or make the game master laugh.
Right.
Because I like to go by those rules because...
To success.
Okay. Saheen, like a shadow in the night. Basically what you are if you're all decked out in black and it's nighttime. Redundancy is redundant. And... and you disappear and slink along in the grass, and it's the wide shot where you just kind of see the grass barely shifting as you make your way beneath along towards the rear of whatever formation is here. As you're coming upon near the back of it, you're picking up at least a half dozen different voices that appear to be barking back and forth in some not quite heated but elevated, at least, exchange. And The voices then change based on people barking back and forth at each other. Nobody really seems to be falling away from the main formation, but they walk 3 or 4 abreast and are making their way on towards.
So they're in a very decent formation, as it were.
They're not like actually in a military phalanx or anything like that,
but they're not just willy-nilly.
No. As you're looking across, seeing that they appear to be reasonably well armed, nobody really is in the full samurai regalia, though.
Okay. And nobody seems to have the Corsair badges. I figured not, but check.
You actually catch one of them. Kind of has strung alongside the pouch at his side. There are what you think were probably Koyosaru badges at one point, but they appear to be shattered.
Okay.
They're bad guys.
So I slink back, report in. Doesn't look like they're very lax. We could try to distract to get one or more to leave, but I don't know that would be a good plan.
And we distract, the others will be watching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Do we think we could take all 6 of them out?
I counted. Can I have counted them while I was over there?
You probably about 14, 15 of these guys.
Oh, let's let them pass.
Does Jikadon have anything to say?
He really seems to be itching for a fight, but we'll defer to the rest of you if that is what you desire. But as he's watching them go on, you just see the look in his eye of, nah, we can do it. We'll totally do it.
I look at him and half of me is just I'm with you, bro, and the other half is just no, we shouldn't. That's not going to work out well. Tightly gripping my sword and wanting to fight as well, but
He just kind of holds the hilt of his blade at his side, though. If we pick one of them off, it is very difficult for a man to scream with a sword down his throat.
It's getting it down his throat that's the hard part.
And I point out to him just how, each pretty much anyone you try and pick off, you at least get 3 to 4 other.
It's like a stealth game, and the overlapping cones of
Right.
visual.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of wait for them to break the path.
Yeah.
You gotta find the one that's a step behind the other guy, but they're all right next to each other,
Yeah.
and you just know that as soon as you
Yeah.
touch the dude, the other guy's gonna be like, "Ah!"
Who are you?
But just to clarify, are they far enough away that since we're going to be on horses riding here sometime in the near future, are we going to run into them again later?
Oh, yeah, definitely. If you continued on the path you've been,
We're gonna
the
run
same
into them.
trajectory, you're just going to come up on the back of them, basically. So
Ah.
if you don't face them at some points, you will want to divert. Which means you probably won't be reaching your goal by this evening.
So what a roadblock. Okay.
It's like the game master sets problems in front of you that you have to figure out how to overcome.
Right. Let me see what I have at my disposal.
distracting behavior.
Play your guitar. Super effective.
Let's see what I got in here.
How far away are they?
As Tahina has come back to the rest of you at this point, quarter mile. I'm assuming you didn't want to get too close and
Oh,
just
yeah.
go, "Oh, hello! Are you looking for me?"
I'd have to do really good on that, but we'll see. I could maybe create a creature-like thing, but I would need lots of opportunity in order to do it. So, that is an option, but It's only going to be an illusion. So
I don't have time for my illusions, Dad.
So, don't know if that's an option that I want to go with.
What sort of thing would you make?
I could make the creature that I just saw previously.
You could attempt to.
I could attempt to, yes. Actually, I would look at the book, but Sarah David is looking at the said book. That's your all done said book?
Done with the book.
Said book.
The book. The bookie.
You have the book on your lap.
Yeah.
We will explore true facts about the book.
Let's see here. What can I exactly do with the reflections of hand cube?
When will my reflection show?
All ingest is not going to do me any good. Sensational distraction would maybe do a little bit of good,
Yeah, maybe.
but nah, not that much.
Wait. I don't want the Wait, is it the reflections? No, it's not the reflections. I want to look at the token of memory one. What am I looking at?
What is token of memory, Memphis, for listener?
Oh yeah, it's the one that I get to summon an illusion, where I tried to create that one badge of whatever it was, and it stuck to my hand. I was trying to throw it away. I was getting aggravated with myself. Yeah, I basically summon an illusion. Basically, as a scheme action, you make a target 2 theology air check, and targeting a position at a range of 0 or 1. Then if you succeed, you summon an illusion of an inanimate object at that target position. And then the illusion object sizes the silhouette up to your bonus successes beginning at 0 for a small handheld object. The item appears real, but they don't actually exist, i.e. they don't breathe, eat, or sleep, or do any of that.
So you need a lot of his successes to make
if I
something that size.
Opportunity, thank you. If I get one opportunity, the object can appear to be a creature or person, though it does not move. If I get this, opportunity plus, whatever that means, summon one additional illusionary object in range per opportunity spent this way, and then 2 opportunity illusion objects you summon this way have mass, and then I can move as though they were real, though they are inanimate, and thus do not move on their own. They still vanish when the effect ends.
So what you need to do is make an illusion, preferably mobile, but static will do, of someone from like the Scorpion clan mooning these guys. With the badge of Koryusuru tattooed on his buttocks. See if that taunt succeeds in drawing some of them off.
I mean, I could try it, but don't know if it'll work, and if it doesn't work, they're all upon us.
Sure.
So.
I vote for avoidance at this point.
Mm-hmm. I do as well.
Sounds good.
You actually hear the tension in the leather of Jakedan's hilt as his hand just tightens and just...
Pat him on the shoulder. You have a higher priority right now. We can fight them later.
We'd get to the boy faster if we went through them.
We'll get to the grave faster if we went through them.
He doesn't seem too bothered by the prospect.
It's true, samurai.
Yeah. Very well. We'll go back to the horses and make our way around.
Yep. Sounds good. And I guess that we do so.
As you all make your retreat back towards where your horses are, they're kind of looking up to you at this point like, oh, what? You're back? Hey, guys.
I say hello to Mo, give him that apple, and give him a nice little pet.
Yep. We riding?
Yep.
At dawn, we ride.
Okay.
You want
Put that one away.
No, he
He's
was.
rolling.
That gives me 3 strife, 3 success, 1 opportunity.
Okay. You're pushing on with your horses.
Okay.
Did Kata do something really cool, or?
He got a decent roll.
Yeah.
Well done.
Sorry, I was shaking my head at him because he made a reference.
Yes.
Ah.
There's a character in the show, Superstore, where just if I'm may use the term and not offend people, which it probably does, but basically the epitome of white trash. Anyway, and yeah, just he's kind of his own hype man, and when he does something, it's just like wah, 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 wah. Anyway.
Yeah, he does. He talks and adds sound effects in and hypes himself.
Anyway, but back to the
We
game.
digress.
As you're on your horses and making a wide berth of your friends from
Just
last
make sure
night.
our white berth isn't taking us next to the carnage that was previous, right?
It can if you want it
I don't
to.
I don't
necessarily want
think
it.
we need
Or-
to.
If it's if we're going that distance out anyway, then I say we do just to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, he's going to delay us.
I mean, we swing
We're
by, we
already-
look at it, we move on.
Okay.
If anything is interesting, we actually get off horses.
Right, but otherwise we just keep mounted.
Look at it. Oh, okay. That's
Okay.
nice.
So as you kind of make a point of swinging by in that direction, a few buzzards fly off as you are trotting closer, and as you're looking around, there are probably between the 24 or so pieces that are left, you could maybe build a whole deer, and but there was more than one deer here before.
Oh boy.
You grasp, and there are bloody paw prints in the dirt and the grass. Just about it's like everything is churned up. It looks as though the creature was just thrashing about and throwing this herd around, and just there appear to have been crunches. A fair amount of crunching was involved.
Can we tell which direction the blob creature sauntered off?
It appeared to just resume its course back towards the forest.
There. We continue our course back to the same forest.
Okay.
I feel safe.
Yay.
You're pushing on, making your way through the day. Get to the point where you got maybe 3 or so hours left to push in to the forest, and the sun is setting once more as you've ridden throughout the day.
Keep going.
Just keep
I'm
going.
gonna try and make it. Try to, maybe be a little bit easier on the horse. If it means we go slower, that's fine, but still try and push all the way.
Okay.
Also, do we see any torches or anything being lit up where we used to be with the other gang of people?
Kind of like they haven't made as much progress as you because they don't have
Right.
horses. So even with your diversion, they're still maybe another half a day's travel for them from the tree line.
Gotcha.
And yeah, they appear to still
Just
be
doing their thing.
moseying on. And as you're pushing on past the full day of travel, everybody go ahead and take 2 strife.
2 strife, not 2 fatigue?
Sorry, yes, my apologies.
Okay.
Different names for things in different games.
Oh, this travel is really stressing me out, guys.
No.
Like, oh my gosh!
But
Your Teoni is showing.
the horses as well are beginning to breathe. And as you are pushing on, getting to be about 10, 11 o'clock, maybe at night, and you're pushing and getting to the forest edge at this point. As you're joining within the trees, things just begin to feel very claustrophobic, and like things are beginning to close in on you. Even just nature itself in this area seems to be somewhat warped.
Is that a supernatural effect?
You're not sure?
Well-
How would you like to figure it out?
I would like to ask Doji.
I'm curious, does it remind me how it felt like when we got next to the crashed ship?
Oh.
With the weird warping and weird reality, how it felt like we were just it felt kind of, I forget how you described it, but we definitely didn't feel normal there.
It is reminiscent of that, but
It's a different flavor.
if you had to put a word on it, this feels more sickly.
Ooh. Okay.
So, we're probably dealing with something similar, but a different
Yes.
place, like from a different place. Something that's not supposed to be here, but from a different place than the other thing that wasn't supposed to be there.
And if we're that vague, Jacadon won't know what we're talking about.
That other place where we were.
So you guys remember that thing with the stuff, and it felt really weird? Well, this is kind of like that, but not.
You've encountered this before? Where?
You know, you remember the place with stuff.
Right, with all of your travels. Was it?
Yes.
Do I know anything about this place with the whole the wall and then beyond the wall, whatever the place is?
Beyond the wall?
And this Rokugan, whatever.
Rokugan?
Rokugan, thank you very much.
Turducken.
My girlfriend! Or my girl! We got the crab.
Oh,
walking on
the
wall.
shadow wall?
Yeah, the shadow wall beyond the Shadowlands. Basically, do I know about that so that I can kind of like just drop like, oh, hey, something like that, because that's bad juju over there, and then might get the idea across to Caden, like exactly what they kind of throw him off our trail.
Sure, you're able to.
You know what I'm trying to
name-
say, at least?
Yeah, you kind of name drop the whole. Yes, the corrupted, what have you of evil entities.
And Shadowlands.
Yes.
Yeah. Just
And-
kind of give them something like, oh, hey, that's what they're talking about.
He gives you a nod, like, yeah, you're still being super vague, buddy, but just like, okay. But as you begin to push deeper into the trees, he asks, how long are we intending to push on?
Are we... How far out do we think we are?
We're in the trees right now, though, right?
You're in the trees, but it's not like, 1 square mile forest. At this point, Jacadon is looking around. I'll need to find some sort of landmark that jogs my memory, and I will be able to guide us from there, but I do not have an exact heading at this point.
Then perhaps we should stop here.
And start with fresh eyes. in the
Start with
morning?
fresh eyes, and Doji, if you would beseech the kami for assistance.
Certainly, I can do that. So I'll wait until we stop, and I'll go down and... since there's a weird feeling in the air, I'm going to do the air this time.
Cool.
Oh, hot diggity dogs. Explode! Now with exploded dice, you can keep the exploders on top of the actual...
Yes.
Explode! Well, that was blank. But okay, I have a grand total of 5 success, 3 strife.
Wow. Okay.
I did a thing.
Can we
Alright.
also tag in there Narcatal?
He'd be void, not air.
So so Memphis, as you try to sink into the flow of the kami about you, and you feel as though you're swept along away on the wind as it begins to pick up and whisper through the trees. It feels as though it catches you up in it, and it just... Like normally, like this should feel like you're lying on a cloud, and it's like should be fluffy and comfortable, but this just
A
feels
whole new world.
like it's clean and like viscous almost, and you're simply getting like these wordless whispers from the air that speak of they don't even have a word for it, it seems, but as you have at least some familiarity with this type of thing in worlds that are more beset by this sort of affliction, you're picking up that this is some sort of this isn't just some oppressing feeling. This is actually some kind of airborne pathogen that is settled on this forest. And the trees are actually beginning to shrink away and wither from it because it's it is not of this world. They have no response to this. It's not even like, the tree might be infected with something and it'll
Fight back.
Yeah, there's no
nothing to fight back
yeah.
with. 'Cause they're
such a foreign construction of
foreign contaminant.
foreign contaminants. And yes,
That's why I have the horse.
yes, the horse Mo. And with 5 resounding successes, you are even able to grasp where the epicenter of this is.
Cool.
Nice.
It is actually more slightly west and slightly east and north.
This object the epicenter move at all, or is it like just like it's not moving at
It
all?
appears to be stationary, but even like as you're
Kind of focusing on
grasping the situation, the aura of it, I suppose. It appears as though it is stationary, but it is not idle. It is continuing to spew whatever this is into the air.
Do I have to know if it's poisonous to humanoids?
You have not begun exhibiting any symptoms yet, but
Cool.
you don't know.
Did you say the distance to the epicenter?
With an actual heading, and you don't have to just be wandering around looking for specific landmarks. You could probably get there another 6 to 8 hours.
Okay. Still a tomorrow trip then.
Yeah, but I relay that's all to the group.
Start really assessing how I'm feeling. Like, am I okay?
Take your pulse and everything, and everything checks out.
In
The
another
three,
life, I was a doctor,
yeah.
I should know this.
the 3 of you are actually feeling as though you're doing okay. You're doing fine.
Okay, what
Then you
about
glance over to Jakedan, who is beginning to look kind of sunken in his features.
Oh,
How the horse is looking?
yeah.
Not the mo.
It's hard to tell if it's just from the day of long exertion, but they're also beginning to look somewhat drained.
How far back is it to clear space?
Well,
How far into the muck?
I guess how far, with my 5%
Yeah.
successes, can I tell how far this thing goes?
it does extend beyond the forest, and there wasn't like any sort of alarm bells that went off as you entered it. It was imperceptible.
So we've been in this probably for a while.
Yeah. It's more like the gradual increase of it, and it more so became tangible as you entered the forest. But as far as how far the effect of it actually reaches,
Who knows?
possibly for miles.
Down for miles and miles.
Arkstone's useless.
Arkstone, never. Anyway, I asked Ikeda-san, though, how he's feeling.
Well enough, a little tired from travel.
Does anybody have a mirror?
No.
I don't think I do.
You can make an illusion of a
I
mirror.
could. Why
Would it
not?
actually work though?
I don't know.
How about we just
We don't.
stop where we are and sleep, get up first thing in the morning as usual, and chase on.
He looks around between all of you, seems to just like, what, have I got something on my face? But just
So he doesn't seem to feel any effects.
he doesn't seem to have noticed anything.
Okay.
Well, cool. I guess we do our watches through the sleepy thinky thing.
Mhm.
The sleepy thinky thing. That's recording you there, listener.
As you go through your watches for the next evening. Just again, like throughout the night, that oppressive presence in the air. But what?
Also, check it out. Jeremy, how's he looking? Alright,
It's hard to tell.
okay.
He already looked weird.
Okay. Cool. Sorry, I just wanted to check on Jeremy.
But as the night progresses, you go through your respective watches. Morning comes and begins to the light filter through the treetops overhead. Nothing untoward has taken place. Okay.
Check in with Jacadon and the horses.
He wakes up. Jacadon's already on his feet and he's ready to go, making sure that the horses are saddled and ready to go.
They look the same, but or worse.
Honestly, like the horses in Jacadon, they look rested, but there's just this, again, sunken, kind of sallow look to each of them.
And it's not worse, it's just...
It might be worse.
Okay.
Well, let's get a move on then.
And to clarify, are we moving... Well, I guess I should do probably another theology Kami thing to go figure out where exactly his Sodashan probably is.
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be... I guess probably Memphis would know this, but I don't know which one would exactly be the best for fighting him. Would that be air or...
You're looking specifically for Isodashan?
Yeah.
Analyze, I call it air.
Air. Ooh. Wow.
Twang.
Kabloom. So that came out to be a grand total of 5 success, 3 strikes. I had a lot of exploders.
Alright. As you check your messages this morning on the wind, the wind is basically telling you, oh, yep, kid's up ahead. He stopped moving.
Is he near the epicenter of what the weird thing is? Or?
He is.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, let's go.
Alright. Still trying to ride on the horses mostly, even it's not an incredibly dense forest, but...
When you said 6 to 8 hours, is that horse or foot?
There's not a whole lot of difference at this point, because horses can't really be galloping.
Right. In that case, probably stay afoot for most of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless we get to like a clearing or find a path or something.
Okay.
And horse it up for a little bit.
Well, yeah, there are intermittent points in the forest where it gets a little looser knit in the burlap, and you can mount up and trot for a bit.
Yeah, but we're not going to get clobbered by a tree limb or something.
Yeah.
All right.
In the burlap forest.
Actually, you're in... What is it called?
Get a name for this forest.
I think I just
Osari Mori?
ran out of...
Ink for the notes.
No more ink.
Yeah, I gotta get a new pen, guys.
This is a monumental occasion that's recorded for dear listener.
So, as you push on throughout the day, you're pretty confident, Memphis, in the heading that you have provided. And as you draw closer throughout the day, Jacadon is growing more and more punchy as he's glancing around and seeing. He seems to be recognizing some various points at this point. And it's like, oh, I know that rock formation over there that rises up over the treetops. I recognize that, and over here.
I would, though, since you're trying to know where he's at, ask if since I know where exactly the epicenter is, point in that general direction, ask however far away is if he knows that that's kind of the direction of the fortress or whatever. I believe it's the Castle of the Swift Sword, if I remember correctly, or something like that. The
Castle of the Wakened is what I have written down. I think Swift Sword is a different castle that we were thinking about going to. We didn't.
That was the first castle I came to, so that's why I didn't mention that. But
It's the only castle in the whole world. Nope. But as you
I just asked the very
throw that out there, he nods. As I recall, and it is probably larger than when I was last there. They were undergoing significant construction.
We're going to just knock out this wall here, put in a new kitchen.
Crown molding,
Right.
bay window.
And move that truck!
French doors.
French doors. Gotta have French doors.
Sorry. Anyway.
Something tells me these guys are not the sort that would make like solar panel or wind turbine installations.
They're environmentally conscious. They're not poisoning the forest or anything.
No.
We move.
Of metal.
Yeah, we're gonna close in.
Okay. Around about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, you're coming up and seeing over the treetops as they open up intermittently. There are some kind of towers in the distance.
I should ask, what exactly is our plan once we get there?
Yes, you should ask.
And I have.
Do we know?
Obviously, we want the rescue soda.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
think
how do we do that and not die?
And I may know of a way in if they haven't changed things too drastically.
Ooh, that'll be useful. So I guess our first task will be to scout it, maybe circumnavigate, see what's there, and once we know what's there, we can decide how to get in, how to find the Sodajan, and how to get out, and how to not get murdered while we're doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
I can at least see if I can find us a door, but the door would still have to be opened.
I might be able to help with that.
Alright.
Okay, just want to make sure we had some idea before we were at the gates, basically. Not that we're planning to go up to the gates, but you know what I mean.
As you're getting up closer at this point, and Jakaden is motioning for you to tie up the horses at this point and proceed on foot, you're actually seeing a few hundred paces away. That tree's been completely uprooted and tossed aside.
Does it look like something like a big, weird blob creature
It
from
does.
the world? Ooh.
Looks like something just kind of grated alongside of it and just shoved it out of the way because it was in its way.
Oh, how rude of the tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you kind of get that point to go off of, now you're seeing branches and whatnot just been broken and splintered in the path of whatever was passing through.
Okay.
Oh, lovely.
So, as you've dismounted and proceed deeper, you're coming upon where the trees are thinning out and appear to have been pretty much clear-cut in an extending radius out from where you can see there the terrain comes up, and rises, and appears to be tiered defenses now set away from what appears to be the actual ancient fortress that is in the trees, and the guard towers that you were catching sight of appear to be at pretty regular intervals along the exterior, and the design of them looks to be so that they can be easily dismantled and pushed further out as construction advances. And as you're drawing closer, Jakaden is looking. Well, I can get us a door into the first line of defense. We have 4 others to contend with before we reach that, however. Bustling throughout the entire area are just groups of various clusters, and they're all in much like the soldiers you've seen thus far, and dotted in their midst are actual samurai in their full regalia. Everybody dressed in different clan garb, different colors, different banners being flown wherever people feel like they need to set up their own little niche here. And over the top of the fortress proper, that's kind of the sloping, tiered kind of look of the Japanese fortress. Is
all warriors?
Maybe not all warriors, but everybody at least seems to have weapons nearby, even those who are actively working in the construction.
Okay.
But
it doesn't seem like this is a village. This is definitely a fortress military outpost.
this is a military operation. It's like you have the fortress proper at the center, and then going out from those, the ranks of the wooden defenses that have been erected.
And out of curiosity, granted I'm not communing with spirits right now, but with my heading and all that, am I able to kind of pinpoint where exactly is the whatever's releasing all this wonderful stuff out into the atmosphere coming from? Or?
Nothing immediately catches your eye.
Nothing looks like, whoa, that's not part
No,
of
there's not a huge funnel in the middle that's just like just belching out. Yeah.
Nothing looks obviously extraplanar.
Nothing really. Right off the top, the first glance.
Okay. At some point, could we see a map?
Players or
Players.
Okay. So did you bring a map with you?
Spend the destiny point.
Well, like a complete map of the immediate surroundings of the fortress.
Yeah.
Perhaps
might
you might be able to look at something like that if I have some time to actually prepare one.
That would be cool if we could see that. That will help us immensely in deciding what to do.
Okay.
Now I'm imagining it sounds like fort, and then orbiting around the fort are patrols, obviously, and probably people cutting down trees and bringing it towards the fort to grow.
Patrols and as well tiers of the walls and such they have created. Basically, they have taken steps to not only do they have the high ground at this point, they have the zigzag of defenses, and so it's basically they have the high ground and then the security line at the airport reads people to come get to them have to do
basically we're playing tower defense where we're the people attacking the tower.
Right.
Yep.
And with a drastically inferior force.
Right.
Now. Don't be rude.
But yeah, just all over the place. There's shredded wood pulp and hay and whatnot, kind of strewn over everything to make it so that it's not just churned up mud everywhere.
Right.
And as you've gotten up to this close to things, it's definitely feeling like this is it feels definitely as though this is the source of whatever oppressive feeling is over everything, but nothing actually visually stands out to you.
I'm going to whisper into Doji's ear. There wouldn't happen to be a chance that Mudarkatal is around here.
I can give it a try. Is that still void, or is that some other ring?
For trying to assess yes, let's go with void.
Okay. Well, sadly that's going to be a no, because that's one success.
No, I mean, maybe, but you don't sense anything to...
I bet Yoshi noticed.
Would the same check allow him to detect extraplanar other stuff?
Possibly, but it would have to be...
Made a separate check.
Right.
Okay.
Want me to try it again?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep in mind, I'm only rolling with one void. Well, that's just going to be one success and one strife. So I'm at my threshold strife. I haven't gone over yet.
Again, much like you were feeling before, it's like, yeah, something's wrong here. And there's definitely something here, but...
Alright.
Don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So we see a bunch of people in garb from the various clans. Is there any clan that is overrepresented or any clan that is underrepresented?
There's definitely a whole lot of representatives, you think, from the Lion Clan.
Okay.
Which is not all that surprising. People from the Lion Clan are generally a little more like, oh, there's a good fight coming? I'm in.
Okay.
No, don't explain it. I'm in. Probably least represented Crane, actually. Even though you're right next to the Crane.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense because we're more the diplomat kind of the corpse. So
What's the representation of people with no clan marking?
So you said there was lots of Lion Clan?
lots of
Yes. But as far as no markings whatsoever to denote their plans, there appear to be some scallywags, ruffians. Maybe they're just bandits, what have you. But some people just look to be like, oh, they're probably just farmers who were somewhat handy with the sword and heard somebody was
Looking for soldiers.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to gauge if we were to go in disguise, what are our options?
The only thing is my face is really memorable, and I already met a few of these individuals before. That's one of my, sadly, my adversity is.
Memorable face?
Yeah, my discomfort.
But you have a
discomfort.
mask now.
But if I have a mask, then it'll probably draw attention to myself.
Yeah, he might stand out with the mask.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. So, especially since I met what's his face right at the beginning, I met Hikigura or something like that. It was the unsavory samurai that we met that was harassing the cart.
your original buddy.
Ah,
Yeah.
Hikigaru.
yeah, that guy. And I think he got away.
He did.
So he's probably here somewhere.
It stung his honor a bit, but he got
Right.
away.
What honor?
Oh.
Oh, snap.
Oh, no, he did. So, but kind of watching this whole endeavor for a little bit, do we see anything like out of the ordinary, or does it look like they all have jobs and they're all doing stuff?
Everybody appears to have a task before them, even those who are on some sort of 5-minute break or what have you.
They're smoking with that thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there might even be a few people smoking.
Okay. Whatever they smoke.
Yeah.
Phew. I wish I had a familiar right now with Jeremy that I could just send him Steve and come back.
That's right, you do have a loud cricket at your side, don't you?
I do.
Oh no. With any luck, they'll think it's just a blob creature.
Maybe we should retreat back a little bit and wait for evening to see how busy
What their night guard is like. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no way we're going to sneak in right now.
But, so, are you pulling back, or are you just trying to stick around and get a gauge what their defenses and patrols and whatnot look like?
I think we would try to hide ourselves as much as possible, like, scout sniper style, and just, watch. Have
Okay.
someone always keeping an eye on, watching where troops move, what areas of the fortress look like there's not any activity, trying to map out a path that might take us past the fewest active people
Okay.
if we were to sneak in.
So, first off, if you're trying to be stealthy as you're sneaking around and trying to size things up better, everybody go ahead and make skullduggery exchange rolls.
Now, could I make with my distinction, my small stature, that I'm easier to hide and stealth?
Is that changing the roll at all? Or?
It's just reroll up to 2 dice of your choice when the distinction helps you on a check.
Oh, well.
Okay.
So any chance I can make use of my survival skills to build a blind or attach some trees as camo to my person?
Which are you attempting?
I would probably go for the blind situation.
Okay.
Maybe
trying to find a good perch.
No, more like a duck blind down on the
Okay.
ground. So maybe drag a branch or something that's on the ground to make a low barrier that looks like it might just be the top of a rise, but I can see through it.
Okay.
Right.
So this is the bit in Divinity Original Sin where you pull it, just hit the disguise button and stealth, and you just got a bush over you all of a sudden.
Something like that. Would I get to use any of my survival skill dice for that, or just switch all the way to survival?
Oh yeah, well, survival.
Okay, sweet.
Whatever normies roll.
Skullduggery exchange.
So I got 3 success, 2 strife.
Okay.
Ooh.
Three of those.
And we're trying to sneak in right now, or we're
No.
just trying to get ourselves situated stealth?
Yeah, we're just hiding out.
Okay.
One opportunity.
Scouting.
Well, I
That's it.
guess I just
I could take the strike, but that would be compromised. So I'm going to hold off on that for right now. Because that's just, I have 2 opportunity and 1 strike before I take it.
All right, and I'm going to be upfront with you. If you're rolling stealth and you fail,
I got no success whatsoever, no matter what I do. So
before we have consequences of his failure, I got 4 success.
Mhm.
Can I just at some point take him and just push him down on the other side of the hill and say, "Don't move"?
push me down in the mud.
Not push down in
Bring
the
it
mud,
all the way back.
but in no uncertain terms, let you know you are not being stealthy. You need to just sit on this side of the hill where no one can possibly see you and don't move.
I mean, I will do that if that's okay with you, Jim, but that's what I did get on my roll. It's 1 opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'll let you play that as you will, but I'll obey the instructions.
I will allow that your opportunity will be allowing Hideyoshi to secret you away in a little nook.
Okay, so I'm just sitting there for now.
Okay, and just to be clear, we're just making it essentially a stealth camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to scout.
Yep.
All right.
You say scout, I said stealth camp. Those are not equivalent.
We're
signs.
scouting through the stealth.
Right. It's an observation post.
You're not on a scouting horse and riding around. It is you are
Scouting.
scouting.
Stealth camp. Camp.
Yeah,
Like,
we're staying in
setting
the
up
spot, but we're scouting out the area in front of our camp.
Okay.
The purpose
you
of
were
the
not
stealth
understanding what I was asking, but you've answered my question.
Alright, cool.
purpose
There may
of the
or
stealth
may not
camping
be
that you
tents
want.
erected while we are there. But I'm building it blind just so I can see things without being
Yes.
seen.
That. Okay.
Maybe we should just go off in the woods and demonstrate this practice.
I'd rather not.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Out in the woods and
I like the woods.
Okay. So, I suppose then just Hideyoshi and Sahin go ahead and roll survival. Innovate, I would say, since you're trying to assess things and figure out a way to penetrate the perimeter.
I know there's no perception check at all in this. I am, though, on my opposite side of the hill, making sure that I don't see anybody or see any weirdness on my side of the fence.
Eventually, you do hear some trampling off through the trees, but it's fairly distant.
And it's nowhere next to where we left the horses.
No.
Alright, good.
Alright.
Assuming the horses are still where you left them.
I am going to.
That's right, I got carried in my lucky grip. Lead the way.
So, 3
2
success, 1 strife.
Okay.
And I'm at my threshold.
2 success, 1 opportunity, 1 strife.
I'm not gonna high five that.
All right. As you tucked yourselves away, kind of mid-afternoon, you managed to construct yourselves into a little blind where you're able to peer out and get the lay of the land as we do the time warp shot where the patrol everything is moving super fast. The sun is passing by overhead. And you're assessing any potential weaknesses in the perimeter, any sort of exterior oversights. You're definitely seeing that there doesn't appear to be any sort of checkpoints around. They're basically the people who are sent out to work and advance the perimeter of the defenses. They, when their shift is over, basically, and they return for meals or what have you, they just pick up their belongings, march back in towards the fortress proper, and just kind of funnel in through the various gates.
Okay.
To be replaced by the night shift.
It might be difficult to tell at this distance, but what is the dude to chick ratio?
Mostly dudes.
Okay.
About 80-85% dudes.
Okay.
But there's a
5'1"?
high enough percentage of females.
Right.
There are women present.
Okay.
Yeah, so you won't stand out like as, look, it's a woman. They were like, oh, look, it's another woman.
Hi, boys.
I mean, do keep in mind, with a ratio like that,
Yep.
men will still be interested in any female presence.
Welcome
No,
to my
I
college
know.
career.
A lot more of like who they know, how many they've probably seen a lot more
Who
than
they've
women.
had.
Oh my.
Well, who knows if that sort of thing's going on? You can't tell that, but
Thank goodness.
there.
Thank
But
goodness for that.
as far as population-wise, you're assessing there's probably 800 or 900 people here.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe a few more people wouldn't attract attention.
Okay. That's the plan that I've got starting in my head is maybe we can just like, oh, look, we're woodcutters. We came back at the end of the day.
Now, remind me, with our badges of stuff.
Koyosaru?
Yeah.
they,
They're not going to be useful here.
yeah, obviously. But we can easily remove them, and they will be just fine. It's when somebody else tries to remove them that they fall apart, right?
It's
We can
basically when
hide
somebody else attempts to adorn themselves with it. That is an issue.
So we can easily take them off, put them somewhere else, and hide them, kind of thing. Okay,
If
just
you
want to
wish.
make sure. Because obviously we don't have to wear that around this place.
You can if you want.
We can, but it's not the best idea.
It would be soups noticeable.
Soups.
Soups. Chicken soups.
But also in your viewings of the area, you see that there are occasionally, not slave drivers, but, occasionally higher-ups who trot past on horses just to make sure everybody's still doing their jobs. And they're generally a little more fancily dressed and up on their horses away from the muck.
Better loot.
Now, this might be
Yes.
out of place for me to ask, since Memphis is looking totally the opposite side of the hill. But since there's no perception roll, I guess I can ask this. Do my two companions notice a certain samurai that ran away from a certain village that we ran into previously?
You see, all told, there are probably about... I mean, it's hard to gauge properly because you're seeing basically the one side of things, but as far as distinctly different samurai you've seen, at least 30 or so.
Okay.
And none of them look like the one that attacked the one village with Isoda-shan and his family.
You actually spot a couple of different samurai you think might be him, because they're dressed similarly and have a similar bearing, but that could just mean that they're from the same clan. You're not sure if any of them actually is the guy.
Just curious. I don't notice anything from my side of thing besides just the weird noise.
Jeremy sings to you softly.
Oh, okay.
It's not soothing. Yeah.
Oh man, that cricket.
He's useful.
My cricket led me.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So, since Jeremy's a lucky cricket, even though I have nothing better to do, I'm going to go ask him if he has any ideas of how to get in. Obviously, he's not going to be able to answer me, but hey,
If a
I'm not
cricket
crazy.
could blink just blankly.
I just
Yeah.
I see you keeping all the good thoughts to yourself, Jeremy. Well done. But yeah, I just make sure I'm not causing too much commotion and making sure I'm not able to be seen.
Okay.
So, wondering what my compatriots are doing on the other side of the hill.
Jacaden actually mostly sticks with you, but occasionally goes and checks in with Zaheen and Hideyoshi.
Behind pole.
Yeah. Just kind of pops in now and then. Picked up anything else, and you're able to tell them pretty truthfully, not a whole lot, but
Can we tell what the command structure is like? Like, we've got 30 or so samurai. Can we tell if there are some that are higher up and some that are lower up, and like one dude who's just sitting in the middle, like pointing his finger at stuff?
I mean, nothing you've seen visually really communicates that the samurai aren't all just jointly in charge, but they all appear to be equal, and you just know from previous reputation that apparently there's somebody above them. But the samurai are definitely the ones that appear to be keeping everything moving.
Okay.
Just their presence often seems just enough to spur somebody into really putting their back into it when they trot by.
Okay.
Which, can they really be called samurai anymore? But
No.
Ronin, anyway.
Waterless dogs.
I patiently wait for something to do or be told to do something since I can't. Obviously, I was told to stay put, so I'm not going to come over to you guys. So,
Okay.
I shall wait.
Pretty much the only point where you see somebody, peeled away from the larger group of things is when the workers, have to answer the call of nature. They do that in ones and twos, just sporadically throughout the day. But as far as gaining attire, basically what you're going to get is the loincloth kind of thing, because that's what they're wearing.
Fundoshi.
Yeah.
All
The-
the
the
workers
actual-
are wearing those? Just that?
I mean, the women are also wearing something up top, but
That's all they're wearing, though.
anybody who's hard at work is
It's
just
hot outside.
stripped down to their fundoshi. Is it?
I think it's what it's called.
Anyway.
Feel free to Google it.
Sure.
So,
So many butts.
I guess we wait until evening. Presumably everybody stops at some point and it all heads back.
No, there's actually the night shift. That
Night shift of work outside, not just night shift like watching.
Mhm. Torches are lit and people.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. This is
I
a.
imagine they got something going.
You guys are all on like full Isengard style then.
Yep.
I'm wondering if we want to make a plan and then implement it the next session.
Yes, we're
All right.
about 2 hours.
Then I will try to give you a better visual representation than just what's in my head, and we can go
That
from
would
there
help.
as you
So-
assess how you wish to go about infiltrating this friendly little place, the
Oh,
stronghold of the Okita League.
Ah,
And just as a little stinger, we'll leave off as you hear from deep inside the fortress, like a guttural bellowing cry, just
oh no.
something within.
Is there?
But I heard it outside. Oh no!
Did you though?
Did I? Oh no.
So
is there any reaction?
a few of the workers kind of pause in their work and glance and look up. And there's definitely some strain, some stress on a few of their faces, but a lot of them are just heads down, just continuing with their work.
And I'm not over there and I'm not observing things, but do they all look in a certain part of the castle or just look at the castle?
Those of you who are actually there,
I'm not there,
it kind of honestly seems as though they're looking below it.
Okay.
Hmm.
So we got a troll in the dungeons.
They have a cave troll.
There's a troll! A troll in the dungeons! Thought you ought to know.
I volunteer you to stick your wand up its nose.
Ugh, troll boogies.
All right.
On that note,
Yes. So we will proceed from here next time on Tim Portalers. Thanks for checking out our show. If you want to learn more about us, follow us at Tim Portalers on Twitter, or you can email us directly at tim.portalers@gmail.com.